Next, I'll be interviewing my mom for my change project. My first question is, what are some words you use in the Virgin Islands?
Some words that I've used and still use is the word vex. Vex means to be annoyed, irritated, or angry. So, for example, I would say, that girl'll make me vex. In other words, it means that girl makes me vex, or that girl annoys me. Another word I use quite often, and have come to find out that people had no clue what I was talking about, was mail pan. I would always say, "Did you go to the mail pan today?" And everyone would look at me crazy. Then one day someone said, "What is the mail pan?" And I said, "The blue thing on the corner." And they said, "The blue thing on the corner?" And I said, "Yes." "The mail pan, where you put the mail?" And they said, "Oh, okay, we call that a mailbox." I said, "Mailbox, mail pan, all the same thing. It means the same." So now I say mailbox so people can understand what I'm saying. I also use the word dutty up. So if, for example, when we used to be younger and we would go outside and play and we would come in the house and my mom would say, "You couldn't go outside without duttying up your clothes." That meant you couldn't go outside without getting your clothes dirty. So dutty up means to get dirty or soil your clothing. Another word is tune. Tune is another word for song or tune. So if you really like a song, for example, if you really like, give me an example of a song, Jaden, that you guys listen to now.
This Girl is on Fire by Alicia Keys.
Okay, so if you really like the song "This Girl's on Fire" by Alicia Keys, you would say, "What, that tune is hot." So for example, that's saying that song is hot. I really like it. So those are some examples of words that we use in the Virgin Islands. And of course, there's the one that people say from many different islands, "Misson." "Misson aboard again, my nose." So it's another way to, instead of saying, calling a person by their name, you can say "Misson." It's just another way to get someone's attention. Okay?
Okay. Thank you. My next question is, what are some words you had to learn for new inventions?
Well, I would have to say most of the words I've had to learn for new inventions would have to be related to the technology era, the era we're in right now. So, social media, words that are actually familiar to this generation right now. Search engines, blogging, vlogging, um, a lot of the new social media platforms such as Periscope and Skype and Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, um, Snapchat, which I don't know a lot about, and I'm pretty sure you just heard my accent when I tried to say Snapchat. Okay. Um, we now have a lot of smartphones and smart houses where they can unlock themselves through technology. We have tablets, we have laptops, websites, the World Wide Web. I mean, the list just goes on as to all the different terms that we've had to learn. I've had to learn as well when related to the technology era.
Thank you. My next question is, how has language changed our family?
I would have to say that language has changed our family vastly. When we all initially when we moved to Maryland, we all had very heavy accents. Now our parents are the only one with those heavy accents because my siblings and I had to learn to talk without our accent, which in turn we stopped using some of the words or the vocabulary we grew up saying in the Virgin Islands. So now when we speak to people from the Virgin Islands, we really have to think about the terms that we're using because they're totally different from the terms we use here in the state of Maryland.
Okay. And my last question is, how has language changed you as you have grown?
I would have to say language has changed me It has changed for me as I've grown in multiple ways. I've been exposed to many different slangs used here in Maryland, and slangs in the different slangs and dialects in the Virgin Islands. I've also um, adapted some of those slangs, and I use them sometimes. I would have to say the way that I enunciate, which means the same to pronounce words. For example, in Maryland, they call me Nicole, but in St. Thomas, they call me Nicole. So if someone is calling my name, or if someone used to ask me my name, I would say my name is Nicole. But now I have to say Nicole, because when I say Nicole, a lot of people don't understand what I'm saying. And also the accents. There are different accents in different parts of the world. Even within the United States, there's a Southern accent, and some people call it Southern twang. There's an accent when you go to New York. People that live in New York and the Bronx have a totally different accent from some people who live in Manhattan. So different parts of the world speak differently, even within our own country. I actually never thought I had an accent until I moved to Maryland, and people would say to me all the time, "Slow down, you talk too fast. I don't understand you. What are you saying?" And then I had to change my way of speaking. I had to really think about what it is I wanted to say, and then try to translate it into something that my peers could understand. So now I speak more like I'm from Maryland, and I also hear I have a Southern accent. I hear that a lot.
Okay, thank you. Now you are going to be interviewing me.
Okay, so my first question for you is, how has language changed for you growing up?
Language has changed for me because when I was little, I couldn't say a lot of things like cube and ice cream. So, my like since I've been in school, I've learned bigger words, and it's been my vocabulary has increased from when I've been little to now that I am 8.
So, what can you give us some examples of some words that you've now added to your vocabulary since being in school?
Um, for our vocabulary homework, I have learned a new word called regal, and that means royal. I have also learned a new word called blade. A blade is a leaf of grass.
Awesome. I think it's really great that you have learned new words, because those new words are going to help not only when you're speaking, but it's going to help your comprehension, and it's also going to help your writing. It'll help you to be a better writer, and your writing will be more vivid. So, learning is important, not just in reading, writing, but also in language.
Yes.
So, I must say that I really enjoyed the Change Project. How about you?
I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I think we learned a lot about our family and the way we speak. What do you think?
I agree.
Okay, well, thank you for interviewing me today.
Anytime. Thanks for interviewing me.